You're listening to Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. This is a podcast where we take the time to reflect, embrace our past, talk about life, or just sit back and laugh. You'll get a front row seat of what it's really like to be in our group chat. Let's start the show.
Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. I'm Toya.
I'm Alexis.
And Kristen is out today, but we have two lovely guests. We have Kelly and Lloyd, and our topic for today is going to be when did you know your person was the one? They are both married, but before we start our conversation, we're going to do our Would You Rather. So can I have one of you guys give me a number between 1 and 100?
70.
70? Okay. Oh, this is funny. Okay, so would you rather is, because this is the one I was going to pick, but I was like, no, let me be fair and let them pick. So
You manifested it.
I did. So the question is, would you rather marry the hottest person alive or marry the smartest person alive?
Wow. The hottest person alive and the smartest person alive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go smart.
Let's go smart.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
go smart.
What about you, Lloyd?
Man, I want to go smart, but gotta wake up and look at this person.
That is true.
So true.
I'm gonna go off. I want to say hot, man.
You could go the hottest person. What about you, Kelly?
I'm going to say smart because they didn't say it was ugly.
That is
So I'm
true.
going to go with smart.
That is true. I know, that's my thought too. I think I'm gonna go smart. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go smart too.
I think y'all learn to love people even when they ugly, though.
That is true.
There you go.
Stop it.
We
Just squint a little bit every time you look at them. Just
Right, you know.
Turn your head
turn my
sideways.
head this way. You look like that.
Ain't do it.
Who would like to kind of just go first with, back and forth with the questions? So we'll know.
What's the first one?
Okay, well, the first one is, when did you know that this was your person that you was going to spend your life with?
That's a loaded question. Like that's
It
a whole lot of that's a lot of answers can go into that.
Okay,
Well, go ahead,
not
give
to
it
cut
to
you
us.
off. Not to cut you off. Let's get a little backstory of
Oh,
Lloyd. If
yeah.
you're gonna answer first, let's kind of can you let us know like how long you've been married, and just a little bit about yourself. It don't have to be nothing in detail. Just
Okay. Been married 10 years. What age? How you want? She's younger than me. We met at work,
okay.
which is not typical.
Mhm.
Man, it's typical to hook up, but I don't think it's typical to marry somebody you work with.
Okay.
Well, at the time we worked together. I don't know what else how to fold into that.
Did y'all work like in the same department, or y'all were just kind of?
No, that's the same department. We was
Okay.
little ways away from each other.
Okay.
When I started there before she did, and we started off as friends. On break and just kind of sat down at the table and just started chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? Telling her about my weekend, my wild weekend, and asking her about her. She was she's a lot more reserved than I am. You know what I'm saying? So like an old soul. Like she didn't believe in all that partying and all that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? She kind of spent her weekends at home amongst family and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, just, oh man, to get into that question is rough because it's a build up. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like one thing. You know what I'm saying? It was one kind of, it's hard to explain to a degree, but you know what I'm saying? Like she had a lot of qualities that I liked. I mean, I can get into those qualities, but it's a long list.
I mean, that's good though.
That's sweet.
You gotta have some type of standard, you know what I mean? So she checked a lot of boxes first, but like I said, I wasn't looking at her as being like a girlfriend or nothing. Like I said, we were just friends. And then that friendship, you know, when you get to know somebody, you're around somebody a lot, you know what I'm saying? You start to realize that you got a lot in common. And then one thing leads to another, it gets physical. And then the physical, people start to catch emotions. And then, you know, the question pops up, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of describe what you're going through. And then me at the time trying to be a player or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She held her ground and was like, well, I don't want to be in that type of thing. So we kind of dispersed from each other for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of me to try to figure out what I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? She knew what she wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, she's younger than me. So she already was in a space to where she knew what she wanted, you know what I'm saying? So it was up to me to kind of to decide. But like I said, we went through a lot of stuff though, you know what I'm saying? Once we did get back into our relationship though, it was months later. She held her ground on things like not to be too open, but it wasn't like no first one night stand type deal. You know what I'm saying? There was like months involved before, you know what I'm saying, the physical action happened. There was dating, there was getting to know each other, there was conversations. Like I said, we started off as friends. So once this came through, I kind of knew the person I was dealing with going into being a girl, being putting a title on it, I guess I would say. And then, she would hold her ground on things like she wouldn't stay the night. You know what I'm saying? She's like, she want to hold that, keep that to like marriage or something like that. Like I said, she had her own like standards, goals, or things she wanted to, that she kept reserved for herself. You know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't be giving up everything. You know what I'm saying? Into a, you know what I'm saying? Something that wouldn't be long term, I guess I would say. Okay. So then I guess the thing that took me over the top. Dog, there's so much that went down, so just to make you understand how this happened. When I can't fill you all in, we ain't got enough time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, better yet, what during that little break period, what made you want to go back to her when you said, you were sick, actually.
Yeah, she got sick actually. You know what I'm saying? And her family called me, and she was actually like sick in a hospital type sick. You know what I'm saying? So when her family called me, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, something came over me. I was feeling like really jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the world? So went and checked on her in the hospital or whatever, and then I don't know, it's just like a connection. I realized that. I don't know. It's just like that feeling is hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? It's just something real deep and internal. You know what I'm saying? Like a primal instinct type of degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person really, looked out for you and this type of thing. I had death in the family before she got sick. She was always there for me, her and her family. And her family, too, was one of the key reasons as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a cool mingling type aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, going to her family, I feel like I was going to my own family. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. I felt comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't like, walking on eggshells and everybody's kind of looking at me half side eyed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's a part of me too, trying to, coming in with a positive attitude. You know what I'm saying? To that situation, to meeting her fam. I wasn't trying to be standoffish and try to act hard and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Just being open and being myself. But like I said, the one thing for me that took it over top. Now, for her, it might be something different. But for me, she didn't know how to swim. And well, let me take you back. Like I said, she didn't stay overnight, so therefore, we couldn't go on like, overnight trips. I'm a type of, I'm prior military, so I used to like to travel. On my weekends off, I'm hitting the road. I'm either in Raleigh or, Virginia, or I'm going somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Kind of have me a ball and come back and tell somebody about it, you know what I'm saying, type deal. Where everybody else was partying in Greensboro or whatever, you know what I'm saying, I got away. But so she would never stay overnight. Like I said, I pressured her for maybe about 6, maybe 8 months or so, you know what I'm saying, about trying to take a trip somewhere, you know what I'm saying. She finally gave in. She was like, you know what, forget it, let's do it, So we went to South Carolina, we're in Myrtle Beach, everybody know Myrtle Beach. And stayed like 4 or 5 days. And while we was there, we signed up for, if anybody ever looked at my Facebook, I had these like, y'all seen the Tiger King? Tiger Dude?
Netflix?
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I signed us up for that, you know what I'm saying? Which, us black people, we really don't do animals like that, you know what I'm saying? Especially big animals, I thought it was cool, just something different to do on a whim, you know what I'm saying? I had a little money in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? So before we did that, the day before, I remember her saying something about jet skiing. I was like, you can't swim. She was like, well, I still want to jet ski. And I'm like, this joke is going to chicken out when we get out here and see all this water. You know what I mean? So we get out there, you know, we rent a jet ski and we get on. They put the little life jackets on us or whatever. You know, I'm proud military Navy, so I know how to swim. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at that. Pretty decent. So we get out there in the middle of the ocean. It's one thing to do a jet ski in like a lake, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. But we're in the middle of the ocean, you know, and y'all don't know me. Alexis know me. I'm a pretty wild boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I ain't gonna get out there and just be putting around. I'm going, you know, I'm gonna get that thing over, you know what I'm saying? So we going across the ocean, like doing 60, 70 miles an hour, you know what I'm saying? Like we hitting swells and we up 20, 30 feet in the air, you know what I'm saying? We doing some wild stuff, you know what I'm saying? We end up falling off the jet ski into the ocean, you know what I mean? Like,
oh Lord.
Yeah, like we out there, like, you know, people, you can't even see the people, like even the buildings, they look small, you know what I'm saying? So we way out there. And she didn't freak out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, most people that get in the ocean, they way out there, you know, she didn't freak out, you know what I'm saying? And I swam up to her. I said, yo, we good? You know what I'm saying? I said, you know, we just got to swim and get back on this jet ski. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure she was all right. And as I'm trying to check on her, the jet ski, you know, the water is steadily moving the jet ski further.
Lord.
So I'm like, yo, I got to shut up. We got to swim. You know what I'm saying? So we start swimming, you know what I'm saying? And we get to the jet ski, we get on, you know what I'm saying? I get her back to the land. Because, like, you know, you can tell when somebody's kind of like slightly uncomfortable. At least I'm good at reading people's body language. You know what I'm saying? Even though she wasn't saying anything, you know what I'm saying? You know, but I could feel the energy. So I got the jet ski back close to the land, and the guy was like, yo, y'all time is almost up. And I looked back at her and I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I want to go on one more spin, yo, one more spin, you know what I'm saying?
Lord.
You game, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know what I'm saying? She was like, go ahead. She just squeezed me tight, you know what I'm saying? And put her head back there, you know what I'm saying? And I went on and took off. So went in there, did one more round, you know what I'm saying, and came back and we got off the jet skis. And I don't know, it's just something about her. It was like a ride or die feeling. It was like she had put her, like I said, we had life jackets on and everything. Like so in my mind, you know what I'm saying, she put her life in my hands.
Yeah.
That much to take care of her. And that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I like that.
I like the story. I like how you encompass that into when you knew. That's dope.
I always tell her that. That's my one of my biggest heartwarming. Because I mean, if somebody put their life in your hands, I mean, that's deep.
In the water and can't swim in the ocean, not the pool, in the ocean.
Yeah, later on, man, you know, I asked her. It wasn't later on. It was probably like 30 minutes later. You know what I'm saying? We got back because after we turned the jet ski in, and then we went to like what's that little river thing you get on with the little lazy river. That's what it's called.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got us a little drink and then got on the little lazy river, and I was like, "Yo, straight up, was you scared?" You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Yeah." She said, "I just couldn't fathom it wasn't no bottom, like you know." So I kept trying to put my bottom, you know. And I was like, "Yeah, it's the ocean, ain't no bottom." You know?
That part, I would have been freaking out.
Right? You know,
I'd be like, "Take me back." Take me back.
Just swim me back to land. I ain't getting on that thing no more. You're going to have to take me all the way back. On your back.
I'd be like, I'm driving the same back to shore. You ain't driving no more. I'd have been going 10 miles per hour.
Man, your time, you would have went into somebody else's time. Lord have mercy. Well, that's dope. I appreciate your perspective on that. Kelly, tell us a little bit about you and how long you've been married and when did you know your husband was the one for you?
We've been married in June. We'll celebrate 5 years. So, I mean, I can't say that we're newlywed, but I guess we're not 10 years. But when I was,
June what? What day in June? Can I ask? Is that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, June 9th.
Oh, my birthday, June 8th. That's why I asked.
June 8th.
Okay. And so when we met, I was a single mom and I worked at a church and everyone there was kind of just family basically. And I just wanted to meet, I think at this point in my life, I just wanted to meet a friend, kind of like piggyback on Lloyd. I was tired of like dating, just dating guys and just kind of, you know, looking for, I guess, love in the wrong places. I feel like I decided to just focus on me and my faith and work on me and my daughter. And so when I met my husband, we actually met online, Christian Mingle. So they work.
Oh.
And like I said, I just kind of wanted to look for a friend. And then if you ask my husband, he'll be like, she friend zoned me right away. And I did, because that's initially what I wanted. I was tired of just dating somebody and then it would be just so romantic and everything would be great and just the feelings and everything. But there was like no depth to it. And this one, I just kind of want to build a friendship first. And so that's kind of what happened with him. So we met online and we got to talking, and I feel like I was still kind of going back to my old self, still picking like the wrong people to talk to. But something about him just kept drawing me to him, just wanting to have conversations. And he was just different. He was different from like anybody that I had dated, from just being a very secure man, because he wouldn't play the games of like, oh, I'll call her back later or I'll talk to her later. He was just, just very secure. And I had never had that. Or he was like a man of his word. He'll say he'll do something and would actually do it. So that was kind of things that I was seeing in him that I was like, wow, I really like that. And I had my daughter, and one of the times that I knew he was kind of the one that I could see myself with was when he met her, which was like 6 months after we've kind of been dating. And actually we were long distance. So I was in Kansas at that moment and he was in Maryland. And I think that just kind of helped me out, because I had my time with him, and, I still had my time. And it kind of forced us to get to know one another on a whole level, because there was not a lot of physical time. So it kind of got to know each other a lot. And once he met my daughter, I was just in awe of how he was with her, and the way when he met everybody, like everybody liked him, which was never the case when I brought a guy around. There was always like these red flags, or people had something to say, and I just thought they were hating. But this one was the first time that nobody had anything negative to say. So, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Nice.
Good deal. When did you guys decide to come closer? Like, did y'all do that before marriage or while y'all were in the dating phase?
After we got married.
Oh.
So yeah. I mean, plane tickets were getting expensive, because he would fly once a month, or I would fly out there. But yeah, I think he proposed. We were dating like a year into it, and he proposed, and so that was really nice. And then we planned a year, and then we got married the following year.
Okay.
And then I moved out to Maryland.
Okay.
I like that. Well, I mean, you guys kind of answered the question of like, how long did you realize that your person was the one? Of course, Lloyd, yours has a little bit more of a timeline there. But in you guys being friends, did y'all,
It took me way more time than Kelly did.
But when you say you guys were just like friends at the beginning, did y'all hang out? Like, did y'all go out and do stuff together, or y'all just strictly talked at work at that point?
Oh no, we hung out. Well, it's like I said, like you said, there's a time period to it. I think maybe for 3 months we were just friends at work, and then it was just one day it was a movie coming out or something that she wanted to see and I wanted to see, and just like, yo, we off, what I'm saying? Let's go check it out, what I'm saying? So we just gonna check movie out as friends, and we did that for a while, just going to see movies together, and maybe a bite to eat, what I'm saying, before or after, what I mean. And then at the time, I think at this time she didn't have her vehicle working properly, so I was driving, to go get her, go to the movies, go out to eat, then drive her back. Then I got to drive back to the crib. What I'm saying?
So you were low key dating just a little bit.
Right.
I didn't mind. man, I was trying to be a decent guy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
yeah, you can't take away who you naturally are, of course.
right.
Yeah,
I was just being, she have a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? She want to go see the movie. I mean, it was, you know, back then gas wasn't that high, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's all about just putting miles on your car.
So, I mean, it's safe to say, like, I mean, because of course you married her, but you liked her, like you genuinely liked her as a person.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I didn't see myself like, I didn't see us like dating, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought I liked, you know what I'm saying? Like that open, you know what I'm saying? Like not open, like I guess I would say wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna get the party lit. You know what I'm saying? Cause you Alexis, you know me, you know. You know what I'm saying? Having some, I thought somebody that was less than a live wire probably wouldn't like being around me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I figure, you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking, well, like me was another live wire, you know what I'm saying, is willing to go out. I like to be spontaneous. I like to go everywhere I go. I want to have fun, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got to be the life of the party, but you know what I'm saying, I ain't go nowhere to try to sit in the corner or nothing, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah. She was a balance.
Yeah, that's one of the key words I was gonna mention inside of this meeting later on. One of these other topics is balance. And I was starting to learn that, you know what I'm saying? I'm still learning that, you know what I'm saying? We always should be. But yeah, it went from going out to the movies and having something to eat to a little bit more intimate settings of me doing something at the crib. And then us having more intimate conversations, you know what I'm saying? When I say intimate, it's just more or less just learning each other, you know what I'm saying? She would have questions, you know, she was real religious, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like how Kelly was talking about. So she would have more in-depth questions than most girls would have, you know what I'm saying, early on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't want to be answering this, you know. Each plate, you know what I'm saying? Time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little full of myself, so you know what I'm saying? Enjoy your time in my presence type deal, you know.
Stop it. Yeah. So Kelly, when you and your husband would date, how was that setup? Like when he flew to you or you flew to him, did y'all like make the most of it, like go all in, or did y'all trying to keep it low key?
When you know, like you guys picked up on, I was very spiritual, and so I wanted to know if he was really a man of his word and if he was gonna put me in compromising situations. So when we started the whole like, okay, let's meet each other, I'm like, oh, here we go. He's gonna be like, you know, I will stay with you, and I'm gonna, you know. But he was like, hey, I'm checking out hotels and doing this, and I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, you know, but it's a little expensive. So why don't I fly you and your daughter out to Maryland? Because my family is there. And I was like, really? And so it's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And he actually did buy the tickets and he set everything up. And this was one of the times that I, you know, was like, who would invest in someone without knowing me, you know, then this can go south. Like we can meet each other and it won't work. And I even asked him that. I was like, so what happens if like we meet each other and there's like no spark, no nothing? And he's like, well, I'll just be happy that you got time with your family. So I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so those little things that he would do that kind of got me, you know, more interested and more realizing like this man is the one who says he is. And so I was at a point where I felt like I didn't want to have sex before marriage or anything like that. And he was kind of on that level, not the sex part, but the whole, like, he also was looking to get married and he was in that stage. So we kind of, you know, had that talk there. And so, I mean, I didn't want to compromise anything either. So if he wasn't, you know, down with that, then, you know, we just continue to be friends. But he was down for that. So every time we would meet, I don't know, I mean, I felt like God was kind of in it because every time we would meet, I would either be injured, I was on my period, this is probably TMI, but it was just like no way we could do anything. Every month that we would meet. So I felt like he always like met me at my worst. So but yeah, but also had people who kind of also talked to us or called us just to kind of remind her like, hey, you guys, like stay true to each other. And, you know, I remember my pastor calling me when him and I were like on my couch, and just as he was like trying to put his arm around me, my pastor called. I'm like, oh, he's like, so
That is
yeah,
hilarious.
Like,
so
look at
that
God.
kind
Look
of
at
helped.
him.
Yes. So even if he wanted to, because it was hard, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of kissing, but there was always the moments where, like, even if we wanted to, something always happened where we couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Holy Spirit
Mhm.
working on your behalf.
It really was. I wasn't strong enough.
Gosh.
I love it.
I do too. I like it. So, with you guys both being married for a good little amount of time, do you guys think it's important to do like have conversations of what's working, what's not working, what you can do better, and how often do you feel like you should have those type of conversations? Whoever wants to go first.
Put it to, yeah, you definitely should have those conversations. How often depends on you two. You know what I'm saying? It depends on, it usually pops up with us when there's there's a stagnant period. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody has questions about themselves or about how they've been doing in the household, or they might see a slight difference in energy or a slight difference in attitude, or you know what I'm saying, or you just been so busy, you know what I'm saying? Like you get it so bogged down with work and taking care of the home and taking care of the kids and your own aspirations and things that you can get caught up in your head, and you know what I'm saying, time will just go by. You know what I'm saying? You won't even realize. And the person's looking like, dog, you know, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are times where you bring those into it, and you bring things like that into it, you know what I'm saying, to kind of rekindle. There's lots of ways to rekindle stuff. Everybody always say rekindle when they think about sex, but
communication.
It's more mental than anything.
Yeah.
These relationships, you learn more about yourself than you do about the other person. So that's the biggest thing that I would say. Yeah, you do it when you need to. Just be cognizant of it. Don't try to have any type of pride with it. Don't even look out for other person's feelings when you're putting this stuff down on the list. You got to be as honest. I'm talking about brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
In the day, you know what I'm saying? Because they got to know exactly where you're coming from, so they can't put something inside of something that necessarily wasn't there. They can't make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I told you exactly, or wrote down exactly how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that we have premarital counseling, and that helped a lot. And one of the things that our pastor told us is continue counseling after you get married, because it's not just for when something goes back, but it's just like a constant, like, let's check in. And for the first year of our marriage, we did that. And, you know, even times where I thought like everything was great, and my husband, he's not the type to like really talk so much, but when he does, there's so much wisdom like I want to hear. But then there's times where we would go to counseling and I'm like, oh yeah, everything's great. And he's like, actually, I'm like, what? Like, here I'm thinking I was like perfect. But that's when he like talked more, and, you know, and then we also had a unique situation because we kind of were a blended family, and that was like, it had its unique, what should I say, sort of circumstances that comes with not just blending your family, not just being married, but bringing someone along. So now we kind of check in when, kind of like Lloyd said, like when the vibe is kind of off. And I was a type of person before that, if something bothered me, I would just hold it in. I would ignore the person, you know, kind of like, I'm not talking to you. But I feel like with marriage, it's like you just can't afford to do that. And to me, I feel like I have no peace, you know, when something's wrong. And then I feel like that kind of sets the tone for the home, and the kids kind of pick up on it. So, you know, and every time that I'm like, hey, can we talk, you know, because sometimes, I mean, yeah, I get in my little mood sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And he picks up on it. Sometimes he wants to deal with it, sometimes he doesn't. But when we do feel each other, we're off, we're like, wait, what's going on? You know, you kind of were thinking about this, what's going on. And so then I see his point, he sees mine. And that's the thing about us, that when we talk, we're talking to understand each other, not to see who was right and who was wrong. Because, you know, but to like, because we're a team where we're trying to help one another and yeah.
That's really good. I like that point. What was you gonna say, Lloyd?
No, I said awesome answers, Kelly.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
No, thank you.
I forgot what I was
Kelly,
gonna say.
did your husband have children before you guys, or it was just your daughter?
Yeah, he did not. It was my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And y'all have kids together now?
Yes, we do. We have we have 2 kids together, and our first daughter. So, and it's neat to see, like, he treats her just like his own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of, we had that set of challenges of just not him and I combining our life together, not being married before, and he wasn't married before, bringing my daughter into it. It was kind of interesting, funny. You know, we had those moments where he didn't know what was happening. And yeah, it's kind of hard because her and I were a little team before, you know, and then he comes in and, you know, it's 2 people that I love together, trying to get them to also bond. But it's just like he chooses love every day, because being a stepdad, you know, I know it's hard. And now she's a teenager, so it's kind of,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother challenge right there, ain't it?
A whole nother challenge. Yeah.
Are y'all intentional about still dating each other now that y'all are married? You know, do y'all make that a priority to date? Both of y'all?
Absolutely. Yeah,
we
do. I know it's important for us. So when it doesn't happen as often as we like to, but even if we don't do things outside the house, like we'll take time either at nighttime, like that's like our pillow talk time. Whenever we can, we have like either 10, 15 minutes after the kids go to bed and just kind of talk and hang out. And I feel like, you know, it's so corny when I would hear people be like, oh, that's my best friend. And now I'm like, that's my best friend. I feel like it's like a slumber party. You know, when you talk to your best friend all night, even though you have to go to bed. And
Oh,
so we have that. And then we have family and friends who babysit our kids so that we can go out from time to time. So I know our kids are little, so we don't do it as often, but yeah, we definitely know it's important.
What about you, Lloyd? Y'all intentionally keep date nights, included? I think it went out.
Hear you.
Yes, we don't plan them as like Kelly said, you know what I'm saying? We try to do the pillow talk, and we try to appreciate moments whenever we just have a moment, you know what I'm saying? Whether that's he taking a nap, or, you know what I'm saying, he done decided he gonna go stay the night at his grandma's house, or, you know what I'm saying, at his auntie's house. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we'll take time to maybe cook a meal and just sit back, cut the TV off, talk, just opening the conversations. Like I said, and then, like Kelly said too, about being best friends. I mean, I think it should be a natural move, you know what I'm saying, into that lane of being best friends. I mean, because you know so much about each other, you know what I'm saying? You know each other's weaknesses, you know each other's strengths. Hopefully, you know somewhat close to your darkest secrets, close to them. You ain't never going to expose everything. You know
like, where did you hide that body 10 years ago?
Hey, what?
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna think, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to give away everything, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, you try to make moments whenever you can. That when time presents itself. And it could just be us driving somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Going to our mom's house. You might fall asleep in the backseat of the car, and I might stoke up a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Just something to pass the time by. You never stop learning your partner, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
the whole happens. When you
learning yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true. Do you guys feel like when, now that you know who your person is and their personality is, do y'all pick those moments of when you have those hard conversations? Because, like, hey, I can be moody. So do you really want to have this conversation right now? Like, do y'all assess the atmosphere first? Or do y'all just be like, bump it? I'm feeling this. I'm going to say it.
Depends on the issue. Definitely.
No, for us, when something's bothering me and we're kind of getting on each other, we have a code word. We say offline, which means like, well, I love you, but this is not the time or place. And so we both know it, and that's when we're like, okay.
And y'all stop it right then and there.
Yep, right there. Because then I know that and that's our code. Like that's what we said. Like whenever we're somewhere and somebody's getting kind of crazy, or my husband likes to say getting excited, then and he's not there yet, then he's like offline. Or same, like if we're having a conversation and I'm like, no, I'm getting heated and I'm gonna say something that I don't mean, and I say offline, and then he backs off. He's like, okay, like I respect that, and then we pick back up later.
Oh wow, that's a lot of discipline.
How long did it take? I was about to say, how long did it take for y'all to be like, okay?
Because I'm
like
when
he say offline. Like when you have a lot built up and he's like offline,
right.
And you're like, oh no, like no, like online.
Well, and
that's the one thing you got.
When these are moments too, these are times too when it's like either the kids might be around or little ears have something. So it's kind of, and we don't let it get to that point either. So it's kind of like if we're saying something and I'm picking at him and he's not responding, he's like offline. Then I look around, I'm like, I'm like, okay. Like,
okay, gotcha.
I see, there's people here and so that's our code to kind of just to say like, hey, I care about you. I love you. This is not me cutting you off. This is not me saying I'm not interested in what you got to say, but it's like, it's not the right time or place.
Yeah.
So,
you're
but
pretty much protecting
thankfully,
your relationship.
Right. And then we can come.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
You got to try to avoid that, the buildup of emotions when you got something going on and if you really need to get it out, then, you know what I'm saying? In my situation, you know what I'm saying? Kelly, them, they got their own. And that's the thing, too. Everybody's different. Every relationship, you got to make your own. You know what I'm saying? You got to see what works for both of you, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But at all costs, I would say avoid the buildup.
Right.
Especially over days. Now, 24 hours, that might be cool for somebody. I don't know. Everybody different, like I said. But 24 hours, that's cool, but don't take no weeks and stuff like that. And then you want to come at me out the blue while the game on.
And another thing.
You're right. I don't have no idea. Something you've been thought about for a whole week. You know what I'm saying? You didn't ponder about it 360 degrees, and you know what I'm saying? I have no idea. You coming at me?
Yeah, it's calculated then, boy. Like,
right.
If he say this, I got this to come back with.
Right. You got everything going on. I got nothing, you know what I'm saying? So
that is very true.
To avoid the buildup.
That's so. So you got any more questions?
Nope, I don't. This was so good. Look, y'all. What'd you say, Lloyd?
There was way more questions on there.
I know you were.
Was it? I don't think. No, we went through everything.
Well, you guys touched on it because I was like, I was like, what did the feeling feel like when you knew, your person was the person?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have this like idea it's going to be like some type of.
Be like that,
I know, but I'm a manifested. Like I want some fireworks to go off in the background. Like
they will in the background of your mind. That's all.
I want it to happen. Like. What's that? It was this movie, Princess Diaries, that whenever she said, I want my foot to pop, like when she kiss him.
Oh, yeah, her foot go up.
Yeah, like little things like that. So like, when y'all had that moment, you were like, oh, because I know some people be like, God, I want this specific thing to happen. And then I will know for sure that this is you, this is what you have put who you have put in my place, and you won't question it. You know what I mean? That goes to me asking, were there any moments where you were just like, maybe not, or were you always sure? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna have questions. You know what I'm saying? That's life and that's human nature. You know what I'm saying? I just knew who she was at that point, so I had to figure out who I was. Relationships are about you. If you meet somebody and you're head over heels for them, I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all three are females. Y'all might take this differently. I say be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to look back in the past and be like, well, dog, maybe if I would have just, you know what I'm saying, opened up just a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, things would have been different. I don't like to look back in the past like that. Once I'm done with something, I'm done. I'm not looking back. So I'm gonna give it my all right then. So I know that I gave 110%. So when I move on, ain't no reason for me to turn around. You know what I'm saying? I did everything I possibly could, you know what I'm saying, to make whatever work or to see if we had a chance or whatever the case may be. So, you know, yeah, you're always gonna have doubt, you know what I'm saying? Just like say what they say that in church, they're about the faith the size of a mustard seed. All it takes is doubt the size of a mustard seed. You know, and to creep in and crack your whole situation up.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. Especially if you manifest it and you think about it all the time. You know what I mean? You're going to look at it. You're going to look for it to happen. Yeah, that's true.
Always you think. So, you know what I'm saying? You walk in your positive uprightness and, you know, hopefully they decide to come along. If not, I mean, you're comfortable in knowing what you did. You know what I'm saying? You move on.
So identity is key.
Yeah. Exactly. For me, Alexis,
your identity of who you think you are and know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, relationships are about learning more about yourself than the other person.
Yeah. You see a lot about yourself. It's a constant mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't like in my mirror. So
There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people are wasting time in a mirror.
Exactly. Yeah.
Years go down the line, you don't lost the best years of your life, you know what I'm saying? And you know, so don't waste that time. If you realize both of you come to a mutual consensus, even if you come to a consensus and say this ain't working for me, I mean, walk away. I mean, that's a conscious decision.
It is.
Every day and living every day in autopilot.
Yeah.
Living in your
at that point, you're tolerating.
Right. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you gotta tolerate some things in relationships, but you get to choose what you want to tolerate or what you can't tolerate.
Good point. Yeah. I like that from the man's perspective.
Right. For me, Alexis, I had a mentor who told me when I was getting ready, because I wanted, you know, to pray for this man. And she said to me, it's like, she's like, God is in the details. So write out what you want in this man, like dream. Because he just dream about how he would look like from the physical to personality. And I wrote like 8 pages, like the small diary, but it was like 8 pages of everything I wanted in this man, and just had fun with it. And I just dreamed up of how he would look like or how he would be, from like nice breath to, you know, everything. And everything from height to just everything. And I pray for that. And, you know, even like our mind goes to what we want or what we think it'll look like. And, you know, it wasn't who I thought he would be, but when I go back and I read all those pages, he is literally everything that I asked for and more. And so, you know, I used to have those feelings like when I would meet a guy and I would be head over heels and he was like the romantic fireworks, and that just never lasted. It was like that infatuation just continued, and then I would mold myself to this person because I'm like, wow, they want me. And then I became somebody who I wasn't, just to please that person because of where I was in my life. And so this was different because it was real, because it wasn't that firework right away, but it was those little moments that kept just building up until then the fireworks, you know, like marriage, my wedding night, that was my fireworks for me, you know.
That's awesome.
Or him proposing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. I was reading a book where, you know, this lady was talking about she kept praying for a man, so God sent them a man. So she went back to her teacher and she was like, this was not the man that I wanted. And she said, well, did you pray for the right man for you? Did you break it down? Did you tell God, look, this is what I need, this is what I desire? And she was like, no, I figured God knew all of that. And she was saying that you have to speak those words, though. You have to call it into existence. And it resonated with me for everything we do, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have to manifest the energy in the atmosphere that you want. You can say, God, I just want to have a good day. You can have a good day. But what will make it a good day for you particularly? Like, I need this to happen. I need that to happen. And once it starts happening, you're like, oh my God, this is an amazing day. You know what I mean? But you called it into an existence. It's like the same thing with your person. So that's dope that you really went down and wrote it all down. And look at God. What is it? Write the vision and make it plain. And boom.
That's cool. Kelly,
you went out. What'd you say? I
said Kelly was actually looking. I wasn't even looking.
Yeah. And then that's different too. I mean, but it's almost like where you still manifested it in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wasn't looking, Lloyd. I just kind of wrote that, and it was like a dream, kind of like a little exercise. But when I went on the online dating, I just wanted friendship.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
she did say you friend zoned him immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. Christian Mingle.
I never thought about that one.
I did, and I said nope.
Why?
Because I don't think them people be really Christians over there. I be hearing bad stories, and I be like, nope, I ain't even going over there.
Oh God.
Kelly got me wanting to sign up though.
Just give you
yes, do it, Latoya.
Let me see what she's talking about.
Let me see what Kelly talking about.
Right.
I'm gonna write my list out first though.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Write that list first.
Write that list.
That is hilarious. So with that being said, like it is okay having a list. I hear some people say like you rather not have a list, just let it happen organically. And I believe that too, but I still think that there's things that you should measure before you spend time with this person. Like if I'm giving you all my emotional time and you still ain't hitting some of these things, I feel like you end up like Kelly, where she was saying you find yourself conforming to them instead of like, dang, I done lost myself. Now, now your identity is exposed. It's almost like, how am I going to get back to myself? And I think at that point, it's going to be hard to do that because it's like, he didn't meet you that way, or you didn't meet her that way. So
false representation.
That right there, you had a veil up. Well, I done gave myself a word tonight.
Look, they didn't encourage the single folks over here, didn't Lex? They didn't encourage us.
I did. I said, I hope this is really good tonight. Because, we're both single. We've both been in relationships where we've had our own situations happen. And we're just like, God, we are mid-30s. What we doing?
I know.
What we doing? So no, y'all.
I don't have children. Hope. So if I want a kid, kind of needs to happen.
Them eggs gonna be blowing.
Good old dusty eggs. No, but
that's hilarious. So we appreciate you guys. Y'all made me really happy and excited to look forward to a new beginning. So,
and healthy relationships. That's good too. Like,
I mean, they're not easy though. I mean, even if what me and Kelly saying, it sounds great, but it's not easy. Like I said, working on yourself is a real hard thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say they do it, but
people really don't.
You gotta go deeper than that.
Ooh, you gotta say some ugly stuff about yourself.
I mean, I won't say it. You gotta recognize what's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Well, what you don't like about yourself and the things that you can change, or the things that you want to change. You know what I'm saying? The things that you see as they say today, the things that you see as toxic. I see a lot of people just put terms on themselves that I don't think that they understand what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like they claim to be toxic, or they claim these things. You know what I'm saying? Manifesting, you know what I'm saying? Like the tongue is powerful. These words are powerful.
It is.
Say these things about yourself. You keep saying them, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna live this out. You know what I'm saying? And who want that? Nobody
wants. Yeah. That's why I had to get away from saying like the things that I didn't want in a relationship, because I felt like because I harbor on it so much, I'm attracting it. Like let's get away and start manifesting what you do want and being positive about it. Makes sense.
And you gotta heal too, kind of like
Yes.
Lloyd was saying, you have to work on yourself first. And I think that's probably what I did before I took that period of time of not dating, so that I can work on me, my relationship with God, and kind of, because I felt like if I had met my husband a year before, a month before, it wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have appreciated it. I wouldn't have, I would have come with all that baggage, all that hurt, and, put it on him. And then, because we bring ourselves into that relationship, whatever didn't work in the last one, we have to heal from all that, because, and then you choose better, because then you're choosing from that trigger, you're choosing from that lens, from your past triggers, your experiences. And that's why I kept choosing what I was familiar to, what, not the right stuff. But once you heal, once you really do the work, then you're able to like really open eyes to see who God has for you, and they'll be ready for you too when it's, his perfect time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like it. Y'all have any last words before we close out the episode? Anything that we didn't ask that y'all want to mention or anything? I feel like it was a very good conversation. It was good to me. I hope our listeners think it was as good. I definitely enjoyed it.
I did too. I got a lot to think
I did
about.
too.
It was good to hear both perspectives.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, just thank you for the opportunity.
Oh yeah.
No problem at all.
You don't know, who can help who and how they can help them. People need people. As much as we can dislike people, but the whole purpose of being in this world is to be of a vessel to other people, and you have to be in position. And you guys were in y'all's position to accept that invite and come on, and you can help a lot of people just by doing that. So I appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Yeah. Before we close, do y'all want to give your social medias or anything? I don't know if some people don't like to share their social, Instagram or Facebook name or whatever, for people to follow you or whatever.
Or if you don't, that's fine.
If you do, if you have a business to promote, that's fine. You can do that now. If not, then
we can put it in the little description box when we post the episode as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to talk over nobody.
Go ahead, Lloyd.
Not necessarily my social media, but I'll take this time to talk about, as Alexis knows, I had a little sister and we got a foundation for her. So if anybody wanted to go check out the NicoleEnickFoundation.org, it's my mom's foundation for my little sister. You can go and check out the page. You can provide a donation. We do outreach programs for the homeless, and we provide sponsorships for girls who's looking to be going to. Right now, I was going into being a lawyer, but we're supposed to open that up to be more inclusive to who's going into whatever field, or seeking inspiration. She has different runoffs and branches from the organization, whether that's people without voices or women without voices, I think it is. And then I'm only mainly focused on the scholarship portion of it. And but she has women without voices, mostly just being an inspiration to people. Like Alexis was saying, just being a community. People need people. You know what I'm saying? As we used to have our older generation tell us and give us inspiration and give us words of wisdom. We have our pastors, and we've got away from that here in the last maybe 20 years. We don't have as many outspoken people to put either the youth or us in our middle-aged years to give us guidance on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, NicoleEnickFoundation.org.
Make sure we put that in the notes too.
Yes.
Kelly, you got anything?
No.
No.
I'll give you guys my social media, but I am a home baker. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do that, but yeah, it's Freckles and Curls Sweets, and we're based off Charlotte. So check out some treats, and I'll definitely check out the organization, Lloyd, because I am interested in. I know I'm all about giving and would love to help, because I've been on that end of receiving, and so I don't know, was thinking of cakes, giving a cake out for a mother in need or someone in need.
Yeah, that's dope. My mom would love that. You said you were to Charlotte?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we thinking about coming down there this summer and setting up shop to give out biscuits to the homeless and little welcome bag, like not welcome, like little needy bags, like they have like socks in them, t-shirts, toothbrushes, things that they need while they're out there on the street. You know what I'm saying? And so we trying to get out there. Either it might be this summer, but it might get postponed to be a little bit later in the year. But yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? If I can keep in contact with you, you know what I'm saying? You can want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? All y'all.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's good outreach. You know?
Yeah. We'll post her information in the episode as well. And her treats look delicious. You hear me? I saw that. Oh, you did some Oreo cookies. The Oreo.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oreo cupcakes.
No, they were actually cookies, wasn't they?
Oh, okay. Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
I wanted to reach through the page, but see, I have an egg allergy, so it kept me from reaching through the page. All right, guys. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear and there are no prayer requests,
you're so silly.
I'm gonna let Toya close us out with our information, and then that's it.
Yes. So if you are not following us on Instagram, our Instagram page is Real Talk Podcast, and that is realTLK Podcast. And you can listen to the episode on YouTube. The YouTube page is the I'm Just Me page is EYMJUSME. Check the video podcast out there, and I think that's all. Let us know what you think about this episode. And if you're married, let us know like how you knew that your person was the person for you. And I don't have anything else. Y'all have a good night. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Real Talk with Toya, Lex, and Chris. We'll talk to you soon.